This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, got it. So let's call the regular meeting of the Utah Hideout Planning Commission. And we have public hearings this evening, April 21st. And I don't have to read that site determination letter, correct?
Correct. You can just reference it.
Okay. So the meeting is on Zoom. We are not in person, according to the April 11th, 2022 anchor site determination letter. Roll call. Jonathan.
Right here.
Donna.
Here.
And Rachel.
I'm here.
And we're all voting members this evening. And Alicia or Kathleen, did you want to say anything about Bruce? Hello?
Hi.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can, my understanding is that he has resigned. So there's an opening now on the Planning Commission, and it'll be up to the mayor to, I think with advice and consent of the council, to appoint somebody new.
Okay. Approval of meeting minutes from February 17th, 2022 Planning Commission. Did everybody get to review those?
And Glenna, sorry to interrupt, but I just realized he was the chair, wasn't he?
No, Tony was the chair.
Tony's the chair, that's right. And he's
Yeah.
just not here tonight.
He's just not here tonight and asked me if I would.
Okay, perfect.
Do the
And
minutes.
just to clarify, is Rachel, are you still alternate?
Does that make me a voting member and not an alternate?
Good.
No, well, I think it's that the mayor has to
Formalize the
Abnormally.
move from alternate to commissioner, which I'm sure will take place ASAP.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought it was the chairman, but okay.
yeah, it's the mayor who decides.
Okay.
But I believe for tonight's purposes, all members, because we have Ryan out and Bruce, obviously, so all members that are present tonight will vote, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, checking that.
Okay.
So the meeting minutes, did anybody have any comments, changes? Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll move that they be approved as written.
I'll second that.
I guess you go through the roll call here. Donna,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So moving on to the public hearings. And this is a discussion and possible recommendation, which we're not going to do tonight, regarding an amendment to the official Town of Hideout zoning map to rezone parcel 00-0021-4873 and 00-0021-4874, the Venturi property, from mountain zone to resort specially planned zoning designation with a residential single-family RSF density pod. We are going to continue it, but we are going to open it up for public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak? We did get a number of emails that were passed on to us that, if I can just summarize them, they all pretty much were against the connection of the court, what is it, Shoreline Court, with the Venturi property.
Can I ask that Thomas explain the different zoning?
So yeah, I can give you a quick background. So right now their zone mountain, they have about 2 acres of property in their zone mountain. Mountain has a minimum acreage requirement of 1 acre for a residential unit. So right now they have a total density allowance of 2 units, 1 per each acre there. What they're requesting is a rezone to residential single family, basically. You know what? This says resident RSPA with an RSP, residential, or an RSF, residential single family density pod. I think this is out of the Hideout Canyon MDA, so they wouldn't have to do RSPA. They could just go residential single family. I will confirm that down the road. That's a technicality, but just so you're aware, what they want to do is go to the residential single family and then get a reduction in lot size requirements so that they could put 4 lots in that triangular area. That would be the goal. There's been some concerns. This has come before the Planning Commission in the past. Some of you may have remembered it, and some of you might be too new, but it's kind of had this life where it's come forward and then kind of just died in the background. I know that Ryan Taylor, the town engineer from TO Engineers, has looked at it and has some concerns about the density and the steepness of the road, because for them to get 4 lots there, they would have to connect the road, because otherwise there would be challenges with regard to emergency management services getting in there and having to find a way to get out. And so it's really a safety issue. So if they did put a road in, it would probably exceed, it would go down to shoreline, and it would probably exceed the grade allowance of the town. So there'd have to be a waiver for that. I don't think that Ryan is terribly comfortable with that. He would like for them to really work through that to get the grade in conformance with town standards. And the 4 units on that property are not likely going to be easy units to build. There's some really steep slopes there. So it's probably a maximum of 2, maybe 2.5 houses. I don't know that much more density can really be built into that property without significant retaining walls, erosion concerns, and other challenges. So this is a hard one. This is one that doesn't necessarily have a full understanding right now. I know that the applicant is on this call, so he could probably, Nasser Sortabani is on. This one's a bit of a tough one, but again, the request is for 4. I'm not sure if it's if we could get 4 on that property, but it does have that road connection as well. So there's some challenges with regard to this one.
Yeah, can I suggest, let's not get into the details of it too much, since we're just continuing it to the next meeting, but I do think it's appropriate to keep it open for if the public, there is somebody who came tonight because it was noticed as a public hearing and wants to speak tonight, they are welcome to. They will also have that opportunity on May 19th or whenever this comes back.
And I'm going to remind everybody that if you have a comment, you can raise your hand in Zoom, and we'll call on you. And *6 on their phone will raise their hand. And once you're called on, *9 will unmute. Looks like Nasser wants to speak.
Is it okay?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate you to explaining what the situation is. That's why we've been trying to get the most accurate engineering. We came to the point that we are going to meet that slope. It's going to be between 10 to 12%. We decided that it's not going to be possible to connect all the way through, but we have enough room for the fire department to turn around as soon as we finalize these engineering part. As you know, they are so busy, and getting them commit to bring them on time, it's a little bit of a challenge. But I think you will like what we have, and I think it will add really, nice. They are too big right now. And as far as building themselves, they are not going to be that much challenge for this slope, because we can overcome that very easily. The road is the main challenge we are having, and we just want to bring you the best design so we don't have to go back and forth. That's why we've been postponing it until we have for sure the one that we know it's going to work and it will be acceptable to the city and the engineering.
And you said that the road that you would build to get up to those homes.
It
just
will be
to-
from shoreline going up. We cannot connect it to the upper portion. That's just not possible at all.
Okay, I just wanted to reiterate that because I have a feeling that some of the hands that are up might be addressing that.
Yes, that is not going to be connected to the shoreline cord. It will be just going from that bottom shoreline going upwards and just to those properties that, you know, if we like a private road pretty much.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? I know earlier, I think like a year ago or whatever it was when we were discussing it, there was a question about where the driveways would be. And I think the reason we were thinking it would be connected to Shoreline Court was so the driveways wouldn't drop right off onto the most busy section of Shoreline Drive. So are you saying that the driveways would be not right off the road? You're talking about building like sort of a extension or something?
Yes, there will be a road going upwards in the east side of the properties. So that will be where the entrance is going to each property. And without the drawings, it's very hard for me to explain it, but but there is definitely, we have enough room for fire department can turn around their trucks, all that. We created all of that, but we just want to make sure all the retaining walls and the road, it will meet all the requirements before we bring them to your attention.
Thank you.
It looks like Glenn and Donna Frick have their hand up.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My wife Donna and I live on Shoreline Court near the end of the cul-de-sac. You know, so I mean, I've sent in an email, which I think clearly states my concerns. But I just want to voice that, you know, these lots were purchased as single-family lots, were zoned as mountain. Certainly with the density of the homes that currently is planned and that exists up there, I don't see any benefit to any of us living in Shoreline to approve an increase in the density of these lots to put, you know, 2 additional homes on those lots. Those lots, as was just said, are not very large. If you go up there and look, and one of your committee members actually was up here today and took a look, and you know, we couldn't, or I couldn't visualize how you would fit 4 homes onto that small parcel of land with the power lines that exist also that are cut almost right through that property, and certainly the slope of the angle of those houses is pretty acute. So you know, we're not in favor of increasing the density to more than the 2 houses that are currently planned for those lots, and I think it would take away from, you know, the neighborhood to kind of cram those houses in there and try to make it, you know, somehow make that a 4-house parcel of land. So, I'm happy to hear that there's no plan to connect the road through. That also was a concern of ours. You know, certainly our cul-de-sac, you know, to have through traffic going through there in front of our house, you know, connecting up Shoreline on both sides would not be desirable to us either. But, okay. So thank you for the opportunity to comment.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Can I just respond very quick? That
I think you're unmuted.
do you hear me?
Yes, you're
Okay.
good.
I mean, the best way usually that I can explain all of these is to have the actual drawings and show everybody how it will work. As we know, as far as the lot sizes goes, there are a lot of houses with a lot smaller lots than what we have in there. That's not our purpose to make it more density. It is might make it more what it fits our, I have a family that and the bucket list is that create, homes for my kids and I up there. That's what we need to do, those things. But when we show the drawings, I think the concerns will go away. If we don't put that road up there, we have to put entrance for each lot from the shoreline. That creates more problem than what we have overall. I think the idea of having that private road will be a lot better rather than having, entrance from the shoreline for each lot. But I will address all of these when we have actual drawings so they can understand it. I mean, these are 1 acre, almost 3 acres each lot. It's a lot bigger than any home sitting on the lots over there.
Could I suggest that we don't get too in the weeds here about this, because a lot of people also maybe who are interested in this saw that it's going to be continued.
Yes.
And so let's have the public hearing, and then we can, discuss then you're being alerted to what issues the public has, as well as the planning commission. And then we can discuss this at length when it's going to be discussed on the agenda.
That's great. And I agree with that because it's premature right now. I can explain things.
Okay, is there anybody else from the public who would like to speak? Anybody on the planning commission that would like to say anything? Okay, then I guess we'll close the public hearing.
Actually, you're going to continue it. You'll just
Oh,
continue.
we're going to continue it. Excuse me. Sorry.
That's
And
okay.
do we need to open another public hearing for the next one?
And maybe just before we continue that one, Polly, are we continuing that to a date certain? Are we continue? I think we are to the next meeting. Nasser, does that make sense to you 1 month from now?
I think I prefer, after canceling a couple times, I prefer to have the drawings on my hand and get on the schedule rather than just set them right now.
Okay, so you want
Okay.
these both to be continued to a date uncertain.
Uncertain, okay.
So we will renotice them, just so the public knows about it. It'll be
Yes.
renoticed in the same way that it was noticed for this
For
hearing.
this meeting, right.
I appreciate it.
So why don't you can open the second one for the lot amendment and open that public hearing. And if there's no one who wants to speak to it, then you can continue both items 1 and 2 to a date uncertain.
Okay, I probably should have combined 1 and 2 to start.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so the second one is a discussion and no recommendation tonight to town council regarding a lot amendment for the Venturi property. The 2 parcels consisting of 2 acre parcels to allow for 4 residential homes. And I'll open that up to public comment. Is there anything additional anyone would like to say? Okay, with no other additional comment, we'll continue that. And we don't have a certain date? No. Okay, we will continue that and you'll be noticed when that's continued until.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The third item for tonight's meeting is discussion and possible recommendation to town council regarding a lot amendment to combine lots 74 and 75 in the Soaring subdivision. Do you want to take us through that, Thomas?
I can do that. Let me see. Alicia, are you able to share, or do you want me to share here? Let's see. Oh, you've got it. Okay. Okay. So this is a proposal for a lot combination, and this is for two lots, lot 74 and lot 75 up in Soaring Hawk. Each lot is about 1/4 acre. This is part of the residential specially planned area, the R-Spa zoning, with resort village high density pod overlay, which is something that has been in place for quite some time. It doesn't necessarily reflect the density up there. It's not really high density, but that is the overlay based on the current Hideout Canyon MDA. For the required setbacks, there are some notes that are part of the plat for that area, and they include a front yard setback, which is 16 feet total. That includes a 6-foot public utility easement. Side yard setbacks are just the utility easement, the public utility easement, 6 feet, and the rear yard setback is at 21 feet. It includes 15 feet plus the 6-foot public utility easement. The proposal is to combine these lots for a single house. And if you scroll down a little bit, Alicia, maybe it'll be helpful if you continue to scroll down further while I talk through a little bit of that so they can see the lot. Yeah, you might want to zoom out a bit. Go down to the next page. There you go. You can kind of see it. So those are the two lots, and what they would basically do is eliminate the middle lot line. So this would be about a 1/2 acre single family lot. I don't know if we have the applicant or the property owner here tonight. Unfortunately, I don't see them. Oh, Liz.
Thomas, that's Liz.
Liz is on. Good. Great. Okay. A lot combination up in the area is not problematic from a zoning perspective. There's no maximum lot size up in that area, and so we would recommend that you review this. The applicant is available to answer any questions. We would recommend some conditions on the property, specifically that the town verify that if it were to be the center lot line were to be removed, that that they'd have to confirm in coordination with the town engineer that no utilities actually exist in that easement. If utilities do exist in that easement, we would have to keep the public utility easement for those utilities. If none exist, any that are built will be built in the 2 side yard setbacks on either side of the newly formed 1/2 acre lot. We would recommend that that if a house is built on lot 74, Alicia, if you go down to the next one, you'll actually see the proposal. I'll keep going one more. That's pretty good. You can kind of get an idea of the proposal, and that is that the house would generally be built on the northern lot 74. I'm sorry, 75, and that lot 74 would basically be used, it appears, as yard open space. We'd recommend that no driveways or parking pads are permitted on lot 74, the southern lot, or any structures or accessory structures or additional square feet are permitted on that lot. It basically just becomes a part of the larger lot, and that this house would, of course, have to work with the design review committee for the master HOA and conform to the guidelines. And if you have any questions, I'm certainly free to answer. It's a pretty straightforward application, but again, Ms. Sumner, I think, is on, and she is the applicant owner of that house.
I have a question, Thomas. So right now, it looks like it's right at the edge of all the building, what do you call it? The building
The actual building footprint looks like
Yeah,
they wanted us, maybe, again, the applicant could speak to this, they wanted maybe a certain size house. It looks like it crosses over into that easement. So
right.
as if without a lot combination, this would not be permitted, right? Looks like there's a fairly large retaining wall on the right that wouldn't be permitted. And the house crosses over into the actual public utility easement side yard setback. So my assumption is they want the larger lot to be able to build this house and then, of course, have a larger yard. But certainly Ms. Sumner can speak to that.
I had a question also. What is the square footage of this home?
Actually, great question.
4380.
Is
4380.
I think
4380, is that what you said?
I think it's a slight, it's 40, no, it's slightly smaller, but it's right between 4,200, 4,300. The original Soaring Hawk documents, when we purchased the lots, said that in the event of lot combination, you know, you obviously can't build double the house size. You can only go 25% larger than the 3750. That is the largest permitted in the, you know, in the Soaring Hawk design guidelines. So it's basically merging the lots to get 25% bigger as opposed to, you know, double the house.
Got it. So I think the total outside of the wall space would be 5,436 square feet. And Liz, do you know, is that under your single lot allowance plus 25%? Is it still under that?
Yeah, it absolutely, we've
Okay.
been pretty meticulous about making sure it would pass DRC.
Okay. So this would be basically 100% of housing lot allowance. So we'd want to change that condition that I put in my report, 100% plus up to 25% extra for the second lot. That would be in conformance. It sounds like with the master HOA, I didn't see that guideline standard in the DRC documents, but you have that. So it basically allow an additional 25%, and that would be the limit.
Right.
And
Okay.
that other lot next to you there, I just to clarify, both these lots together equals a half an acre, or are they each a half an acre?
They're each about a quarter of an acre, and total is about a half an acre. Yeah.
And just so, what is the plan, Liz, for that lot? Were you just gonna keep it as a yard, or were you gonna pool?
Absolutely. It's just open space.
Okay.
It's literally, I mean, there's no, it is just, if, you know, if you're standing on the lots, you can sort of see that the view lines work well with this orientation, and the Soaring Hawk, because of the 6-foot setbacks between houses, when you're only 12 feet from your neighbor, I mean, it's pretty cozy. So our goal was literally just to leave it as existing, but you know, it's scrub oak and your standard Park City hideout landscape of sagebrush and scrub oak. So we were just going to leave it alone and then let it just exist as open space.
And
Not
we're
fence
very
it as a dog run or
supportive of
anything like that. So yeah, what's
Yeah.
that?
We're very supportive of that, not
Yeah.
adding any kind of turf or high water landscape, et cetera.
No. I mean,
We're very
we are sort of zero-scaping fans anyway. So that's yeah, no, we would not mess with it really.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Then does somebody want to make a motion?
This is a public hearing. You would open it up to the public.
Oh, it is a
Liz,
public
I think
hearing.
Liz has a question. Liz Summer?
No, sorry,
Liz-
we're the owners. Sorry, I can
She's
lower
the
my hand.
owner.
I don't need to talk anymore.
There was another Liz.
No.
Okay,
Let's be
we'll
honest.
open it up for public hearing. And again, I'll remind you that if you have a comment, you raise your hand. And *6 on your phone will raise your hand. And once you're called on, *9 will unmute. Anybody from the public have any comments? Okay, then we will close the public hearing with no comments. Commissioners, any questions? Any motions?
I'll motion to approve with the staff's limitations and being incorporated in that.
And can I just recommend, just so that you'll know, Thomas, can you please draft a resolution when council adopts this? And we should
will.
just start having the planning commission understand that when we do plats or plat amendments, subdivisions, we will have it accompanied by a resolution, just so that we have a document that basically reflects the items in the staff report, but that we have a kind of an official, memorial of what you guys decided in case you amend something or whatever.
So those conditions, limitations would be incorporated into that resolution. Just makes it easier than having to look back at the minutes. And I'll definitely do that. And the one correction would be, and one of mine noted that no additional square feet will commit the allowance of square feet for one lot plus 25% for the second lot as a maximum, because I think that is fair. And that is what the DRC in the master HOA allows for. That's fair.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Rachel?
Yes.
Donna?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. So lots 74 and 75 are together now.
So that'll be
Or
an approval,
our recommendation.
a favorable recommendation to council, and then we'll take it to the next council meeting. Yeah, thanks, Glenn.
Yep. Okay.
So much.
Thanks, Liz.
So our next agenda item, the discussion and possible approval of amending language in the Hideout Municipal Code in reference to the Hideout fee and rate schedule for business license fees, I believe is not going to be done this evening.
That's correct. So let me just to give some background, I wouldn't mind a little input actually from the Planning Commission, but no decision tonight. So there was a little confusion. So you guys have a section of the business code, the business licensing code, which is chapter 6 for home occupations. And right now it requires review by the Planning Commission for home occupation licenses, and also, and I guess maybe we should, and then also it requires any changes to that section go before the Planning Commission. So there is the home occupation section needs to be revised. It's just a little out of date. And I guess one question I have is, does the Planning Commission, as we try to draft something, do you guys actually want to review anytime somebody submits a license for, let's say, a home office? Because right now, the way that it reads, that's the process. Someone would have to get a license. And the big change is that state law says you can't charge for that license. So that's not a big deal. But I could see wanting to have the Planning Commission review, like if someone has let's say a hairdresser in their home, they might, that attracts clients. So maybe it's only the types of home-based businesses that could have impacts on the neighbors that the Planning Commission would want to see? Or do you just say, yeah, we want to just see everything, or we don't want to see anything at all?
So
my thought on that is, and I should disclose that I operate an office out of my house for a law practice in Illinois. I want to make that clear to everyone up front. I would be in favor of licensing businesses that would impact the community. That being one category, a hairdresser, anything where you might have customers come and go, where you might be shipping or receiving, those types of things. But I would be reluctant, again, I have a personal conflict of interest here, and I want to make that clear to everyone present today. But I would be reluctant to go in the direction of licensing anybody that operates an office out of their home unless they do some activity that would impact the local community.
So does anyone who works out of their home have to have a business license?
If you have your own business, if you're an employee,
Oh,
like if you
okay.
work for whatever, Google, but you work out of your home and you have another employer, then no. But if you run your own business, I have a business license, for example.
Mhm.
Not needed in every jurisdiction when you're just working out of your home. But.
Okay. Okay.
So and
Colleen,
maybe that's and we can talk about this more, and maybe I should just introduce this and say this is going to be the discussion that we'll have. But I was just trying to wonder how we should craft the language. I was considering crafting language just as Jonathan said, you know, that if there are no impacts, I think either no license is even required. If you want to get one, you can always get one. And or you have to get a license, but no planning commission review.
Administrative, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe everybody gets a license administrative, but as Jonathan noted, if it has impacts on the neighborhood, maybe then it's a planning commission review. That does make sense, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that helps. We'll bring something back in the next month or two so that you can review that. And
I just think it's not, I agree, you know, with you, Polly, too, and John. I mean, we don't need to see if anybody's going to be, you know, if you're going to have a home office. I mean, that's just only if it impacts I mean, I've already made my decision. So, I mean, you know, as long as it doesn't impact, you know, you're going to have a lot of cars, a lot of traffic, you know, that kind of, then we need to review that. But if somebody has a business and has a home office, you know, it's just so constricting. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
Before we ask about adjournment, can I put something on the record here? I forgot to say it when we were doing the minutes. Last month, we were asked to vote on something that we hadn't seen because it came in during the meeting. And I think some people felt uncomfortable with that, myself included. And I just want to kind of make it clear, although we trust you, Polly, and we trust you, Thomas, that's not going to happen again. At least I'm not going to vote for it. And
that's absolutely
else, but I just kind of wanted to get it out there that can't happen again.
Absolutely. Yeah, unfortunately, with the time pressures that have been happening, that has happened, and I apologize on behalf of myself and staff. And it is always the planning commission. I know that you have a lot of pressure of, oh, well, you just have to push it through, that type of thing. And if you don't feel comfortable voting, then the vote can be, you know, if you're going to force me to vote, I'm going to have to vote no because I don't have information.
Or I want to continue to have more time.
Yeah.
No, you can't really abstain.
No.
No, that's not. But what you can do, you can either say, either it's going to be a continuation, or if for some reason we're being forced to vote, then we vote against it because we don't have enough information to support the application.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
okay. Anything else? Or does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Can I just jump in? I think that Alicia or Kathleen probably sent out, but the town has adopted a conflict of interest policy and a ethics policy that I believe has been sent to you. So I'd ask you all to please fill it out. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer them if, about what should be disclosed or not, but hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory. And, we're gonna ask you to do that anytime if some situation changed, if you change a job or, interest in the town, you buy something, whatever, then you would need to, you're the one responsible for updating that disclosure form.
Just as a side note on that, I do have those printed in the office. They do need to be notarized. So I'm a notary and Jan's a notary. So just make sure that they're signed in front of us. So
we
and
can
Jonathan is on it. He got his signed today. So
so we could just come into the office during your business hours.
Yeah, if you want to get in touch with me first, just to make sure that I'm there, because we're still kind of on that rotation thing. And, I'm usually only there on Wednesdays, but I can come in anytime. So.
And to be clear, you could fill it out if you have a printer at home and you want to fill it out at home and then just don't sign it. And then you'd sign it, you execute it in front of a notary. If that's easier. Sometimes that's, but town hall is nice. So why not spend a few minutes there?
Sounds easier to go to Alicia.
Yeah.
But I work every Wednesday, and Thursday. So we'll have to work something out.
We'll have to work something out. I do have a little thing for you too, once you come in and sign. It's your land use book. I'm spoiling the surprise.
Yeah.
But they sent those to you. So yes, see, Jonathan's got it right there. So, if you come into town hall, then I've got a book for you.
Okay, we'll have a book club.
Yep. It's going to be riveting.
Something to sleep by.
Yeah.
To sleep because of one of them.
Okay.
Thanks, you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thanks. Good night.
Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Jonathan,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you, everybody.
Nice job, Glennis. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, Rachel. Hope your mom is better.